Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do
There you
do
go. Back to
do.
good. Back to normal.
Oh, good.
It's weird. Especially because it started fine.
Now you're on the right side. You were on the left side. This is very disorienting. Okay, that's. Now we got Ravlox in there.
Can you guys hear me?
Nope.
Yep.
Loud and clear.
I'm not hearing anything.
Test 1, 2, 3.
You can't hear us?
Speakers muted. Ooh.
Beep, 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 beep. Let's see. Let me make sure, do my usual. Oh, come on. Not today.
Here, back.
Hold on. Ah, good.
Alrighty.
Well, we may not be able to do things. It looks like Twitch is having some problems. Hey, List. Thank you very much, List.
Uh-oh.
Hey, thank you, Waldo, for real. And Din Haru, thank you for the host. And Azimodi, thank you for the follow. Hold on, I'm having to try and do the... I gotta go do all this stuff now. It's alright, it's the Pro Pre-Stream. Do.
All right, and question bot, is that working? And then
no, that's what I'm trying to fix
contesting.
right now.
Okay. It is Friday. Happy Friday.
I need a Friday. I need a weekend.
Might try some hiking out in 90-degree weather tomorrow, maybe.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, right? Last time we tried it, we had some people get a little dizzy, so I don't know.
Bring water.
Yeah, definitely.
Hold on, I'm trying to get the auth thing done again so we can do the question bot.
List asks how the fires are by us. Not so bad, List. We can smell them, and there's some haze in the air, but it's not so bad like it's been. You know, like there's bad fires in northern Colorado a few years back. It was really hazy up here. People with respiratory problems were having issues. And the cats and the dogs are still at war, Justin. Though the cat's gaining courage, so that's good. I think the dog's getting more sheepish. Hey, Serene.
Still got a couple minutes here. Did that actually connect? Let's try it now. Aha! It did. Good. Let's see. Top question is going to be about dragon bacon. Do.
Who else has bought Cheese Whiz since Lord British shared his recipe again?
Yeah, I saw on the forums somebody's experimented with the recipe and they added in cilantro. I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was a Condis. I can't remember.
Let's see. There it is.
Just for you folks looking for fishing contest results, I apologize. I forgot to process the contest today, but I'll do it right after the stream and still announce it on the forums. So expect the results on the forums and the prizes still to go out.
All right. Now I'm ready. Look, exactly on time.
Bam. Pros.
Greetings, Avatar, and welcome to another Friday stream for Shroud of the Avatar. If you are a new player, we will introduce ourselves so you know who we are. I am Chris Spears, also known as Atos, although lately you see me in-game a lot as Chompy, as I've been trying to log in stealthily for lots of different reasons and bug repros and all that type stuff. And let's see... Up here we have in the Chaos hat, my fingers are off screen. The Chaos hat, we have...
Hi, I'm Rick Elgarian Hart, the community manager for Shroud of the Avatar.
And then we also have in the upper square, or in the glasses.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you. I think I got the
Awesome.
volume good. Yep. Oh, you're supposed to introduce yourself.
Oh, me? Oh, okay. I'm Steve Rynan. I'm Ravelox, and I work on various different projects. I'm currently working on Hometown and the Bug Brigade, which we will talk about during the stream.
Awesome. And then down below there with a map behind him, we have...
I'm Keith Quinn, Sanyo on the forums, and I'm a level design, quest design, content design kind of guy on Shroud of the Avatar.
Awesome. And we may have other people join in.
Yeah.
You never know. I don't think we talked to Richard before this one. So not sure if he's going to be here. He is in France, I believe, until next week. Ravlox, can you confirm that?
Yes, that
One
is
more week?
correct.
All right. So he's on a different time schedule over there. So it is late at night over in France. But nice to see you guys. Still have people filing in here. If you're new to the stream, you can get a question added to our list of questions that we're all looking at by doing !question and your question. And I will relay it to the team for you. We don't have... Do we have a theme today, Elgarion?
No theme. Travis did make mention of possibly going around Tanglemire as like a preview. I'm not sure if he's still wanting to do that or not.
Yeah, we could do that. We got the NPCs in there. We got resources. We got bad guys. He's still doing some polish work, but I think we could go take a look.
All right.
Talk about some of the things when we
Let me
get
make
there.
sure I'm synced up and ready to go do that. Or is it on... Did you guys expose it on QA yet?
It should be there, yeah.
All right. Let me
And you
patch
can get
up.
there from the overworld. So
Okay.
players should be able to get. Players, I think, have been getting there and reporting bugs.
All right. There is a new QA build that was that just finished up. Let me make sure it just finished up. Yes, it did, and I've got to get that. I'll work on getting that uploaded now, so you can have that for the weekend. That has just a handful of changes. That has all the epic artifact changes. Those are in there now, so they're all 2 artifacts to craft instead of 4. So that'll be on live here shortly, or on QA shortly. And let's see. And actually, now that I'm looking at this, it looks like the Steam QA build failed yesterday when I tried to push things live. So if you're trying to play on QA on Steam, that failed. Sorry about that. I'll look into that and try to make sure that gets published for the next one. And other than that, let's see. Do we have any big news?
Well,
You
just
wanna-
related to
spoilers?
the QA thing, when they log on to QA now, they will be awarded a ton of XP and Kodos and gold.
More than before?
More than before, way more than before.
Awesome.
So there'll be no blocks to test the higher levels of skills. If there's new skills, they can run up the whole tree. They should be able to do that. If there's any issues with the amounts that are on there, the players should let me know.
Awesome. I guess that's something that just went in here today. I must have missed that on the chat. Yeah, we've been talking about that for a while, so that's good that finally got done.
Yep.
Anything else? Any other exciting news? Anybody?
I got something for you builders out there. I don't know if it's in game yet, but it definitely would be in during R81, I think, is all those building blocks out there. They're going to have less pickiness in terms of how you stack them. So you'll be able to have overhang. And also, you can stack larger blocks onto smaller blocks. So you can really get experimental with what kind of structures and shapes you're making now that we have all these new building block sets. And also there was some issues with one of the sizes for all the new block sets, and then the black ice and regular ice sets. There was another piece on those that they flipped the wrong way. So expect for the people that had purchased the new sets, I'll just go in and see who bought them, and then I'll send you the replacement pieces that flip properly.
Awesome. Yeah, you've been doing a lot of good stuff in there. I'm excited about those. Did you make those glowing stones wall mountable and
Yeah, actually, so you
scalable
guys
and-
remember the old Avenger? I don't know if that's in store or anyone also, but they'll be ready for
What are you talking
everybody.
about?
what? Yeah,
Oh,
what?
right.
What?
They're just glowing jewels. That's all they are. But anyway, you can rescale them all the way up to 2.0 now in size, and you can wall mount them, and POT decoration placeable as well.
Awesome. All right, and also thank you to Z. Thank you, Z. Thank you twice. And thank you, Mary Lynn Gaines, and for the follow. And thank you, Dead Buddha Twitch. Thank you for the follow. And Nerfomancer, thank you for the follow. Getting a lot of new names in there. Love seeing those. Let's see if you guys don't have any other urgent stuff here, I'm going to start throwing some questions up there for you. Some more. And I will admit, if I seem a little off my game today, it's because I was napping. I needed it. There you go for 1 and 2.
Well, do you want me to talk to about like the Bug Brigade and stuff now, or you want me to hold off?
Why don't you hold off? The user number's still climbing. We'll have more people at the end of the stream. It's better to do that type of important stuff more towards the end, or maybe after, right after one of the prize innings when we know lots of people are going to be around.
Okay, sounds good.
And I just put up some questions for you guys there. Let's see.
So
Go
I'll
ahead.
answer one of the questions. If you want to actually start crossing over to Tanglemire, and we can walk around there. But so the question from Leonardo Silva DF23. Anyway, the question is, the game has a book series called The Sorcerer's Daughter. Currently, we only have access to 10 chapters of the book, but there are 39 available. Can we get the rest of the chapters made available in game? So there was a time, I guess maybe it's like 2 years ago now, when I actually had the entire story in one book asset, one text file, and etc. In one block of data in the game editor, and then we found out that there's a hard limit to how big books can be, and I was way over the limit. And so our tech guys were trying to find a workaround, and what we would do was we would make the plan was to set up all the separate chapters and have sort of like a super book that is its own small thing that actually just sucks in multiple chapters, separate children books, and you'd sort of have a bigger book that way. It wasn't. It was low priority and it wasn't working out, and they got put on the back burner. And the programmer who was working at it isn't working here anymore. So it's on the back side of the back burner now. But at some point we'll go back. Probably me. It's still on my to-do list to go back and sort of get that book in the game somehow.
Chapters,
so
break
maybe
it
I'll
up.
just at some point put in all the individual chapters as individual chapters. There you go.
Oh, and we're getting lots of new follows here. Let's love the follows. Brass Bald Dragon, thank you very much. With the fans, thank you for the follow. This is one E. Hondas asked that we have. I know it's come up before, and we looked at it, and you got to understand. Whenever we put one of these features in, he's asking for a feature that's like super powerful to give them lots of control on QA. It scares the bejesus out of us, because we're always afraid that's somehow going to slip over to live. But what Ehondas was asking for is, can we get click to level skills in QA? So we could have that. That's one of those, again, like we got to do it and then check it 100 different times because, again, we've never really had a rollback in the game. We've had a few times where I've had to go and manually do rollbacks, but doing it a character at a time, just taking things away. But that is one of those things that, if that snuck over, that's like our worst fear is the GM feature that was exposed to players on live instead of just on QA. So not that hard. Again, that's the type of stuff that keeps me up at night. And since I always tell some little story just to irritate some people, personal type story, and I have a question here that relates to it. Lancermain asks, grandson asks, how is the princess? That's, if you heard me say I took a nap or I just woke up from a nap, that's my daughter, 6-year-old. We've been doing our PE by going to the pool, and she had her first earache. But she woke me up at midnight, and I never got back to sleep. But it was a good way of waking me up, which was before bed she was having earaches. I did the warm water wash and the drops that supposedly dissolve it, and then the swimmer's ear stuff. And I told her she had to sleep with the ear down that was clogged up, that was stopped up. And at midnight she woke up in a panic and ran into our bedroom to tell me she didn't know which side was the bad side. Dad, which side is the bad side? I need to know which side is the bad side so I can put it down, which tells you that obviously all this stuff worked and the eardrops worked and everything worked, and she was feeling much better. But I did tell her which side was the bad side. But she was feeling much better, so that's my one little personal story for today. But that is also why I was taking a nap, is because up at midnight, the last couple nights in a row, actually. And unable to get back to sleep, so just staying up and starting my day stupidly early. Let's see. Let me give you guys some more questions in there. They're still pouring in. I'm slow on getting them over. There we go. Let's see.
Got one.
Go ahead.
Merrick Dragon asks, when are we getting dungeon spawners? So we know that we've talked about this before. The lich spawner is already created. That's going to be one of the first recipes I get training on and experiment with tentatively. And then after I learn how to do that, doing other types of spawners could be pretty easy. So expect those coming and also in recipe form, so we're not selling power on the Kodo store.
Awesome. Let's see. Tazar asks, any progress on single target moon attack spell? I'm actually going through the spells right now. I do have the falling or shooting star spell. I do not have VFX for it. That's kind of where it was last time. I need to get Damon on that. He can probably crank that out. I could check that in now and get that moved over. My big thing for combat right now, I'm working through a lot of the useless skills, trying to make them less useless. But I did also the change for damage resistance should be live, should be on QA in the next patch. For those who, I don't think I'd talked about before in the air, but that turned into, it was a really small task that I could have done it in a really quick manner. But while walking through, I wasn't getting the results I was expecting from how much damage resist it gave. And so what I found was there were several big logic errors. A couple of them were, if things did, we use formulas for everything in our math, for our combat stuff. So when you use a skill, there's a formula that drives, that's a data entered formula that drives the damage for that thing. We have a general concept, and again, we're doing the behind the scenes talk for the developer stuff, but if one of the things that you can add in there is called melee damage, and that does a standard melee damage calculation based on your skills, the weapon you're wielding, and a number of other things. Then I'm mentioning this to you because usually the skills will be like a normal hit is like a melee damage hit. That's whatever the formula says it should be. That'll insert that number there. But there's a lot of skills that are like melee damage. I think aim shot may be melee damage times 2. So when I was going through the damage resist changes, I was never getting quite the results I wanted, and I tracked it down to the calculations were being done before that 2 multiplier was put on there. There was also some of this bad math where damage resistance and parries and these other things were taking damage off not only before that, but also before critical, glancing blow, and the other things were on there. So I had to go and rework a ton of the combat math to get that in there. But so the good news is the damage resistance scaling is in. It should be on QA now. All that stuff is also live, and that should help some people, hurt other people. But in general, the damage resistance stuff will make it a lot better for the tanks out there. The fix to the how the math is done will probably hurt people a little bit, but I think it'll more than make up for it. So we'll see. But get on QA, go try it out. And this is the big thing you want to look for is damage resistance on big hits, and basically damage resistance will show more. And I don't think I turned on the verbose feedback for it, so I need to get the verbose feedback on. I'll try to get that in the next build anyways. You guys got any questions you're ready to answer?
Yeah, I got one here from Serenia Malorian. I want to thank Serenia also because she sends me a lot of messages about certain decoration items. Like this morning, I submitted some changes to the English Ivy so you can place it in dungeons and on interior walls and in player-owned towns. But we've got one. She's asking, how about the option to stack a few wall types onto blocks, wooden wall, Shogun divider, etc., and the ability to scale those walls the same as the blocks. Can you message me in Discord like you normally do as a reminder, Serenia, and I'll experiment with it.
Awesome. I've got one here I want to answer. Elron, King of Elves, any progress on food reworks or crafted armor rework? So the food rework is still in progress. I probably won't get it live. I'm going to try to get it on QA before we go live with things. We actually have some improved processes now, so we can actually stage some stuff. If I want to hold stuff back, it's a little bit easier, but I may not put the food live, but I'm going to try to get it on QA. But this is the food rework. The armor rework is the other thing that's underway, and this is for player crafted armor. In case you missed one of my other streams where I talked about this, I was looking into what the true value of items are and trying to take another shot at balancing things, because we really haven't done a balance of gear and skills and those type things based on trying to look at numbers and calculate some values from that, at least have a ballpark. Again, the actual value varies for everybody. But one of the things I discovered was pretty much all of our crafted armor, the armor has no actual value in combat, is kind of the bottom line. The armor has two functions when you're crafting armor. One is to determine whether you're heavy armor or light armor, and then the second one is to be a place for you to put all your enchantments, your masterworks, and your gems. But other than that, the armor provides no significant advantage. Oh, Snugs just got here. I got to start over. Let's go back to the first square. No, Snugs, you can rewind. But anyways, so that was... I ran into this when I was trying to figure out obsidian armor. In obsidian armor, I get a lot of people asking me to turn down the ingredients required for obsidian armor. Just the number of pieces that goes into it is even more crazy than most of the other stuff. And while looking at it, I was trying to figure out, well, does obsidian armor provide any advantage over some of the other armors? And kind of the short answer is no, not really. So that's the main thing we're trying to look at. Is I was trying to get both gear to be valuable, to feel like the base gear is valuable. And this is also part of the making artifacts less mandatory, which a good part of that is by bringing up the crafted gear to be closer in value. So adding some value to them. But anyways, I took a stab at the obsidian armor that's out there. I know I've already got some feedback on that they want. Changes people have suggested for the obsidian armor, but that's kind of the target high end for what crafted player gear will give. It's a pretty big knob turn in terms of the power. Again, the damage resist is one of those things you'd think plate mail would be giving significant damage resist, and plate mail does not give a significant amount of damage resist. So expect those changes. I will have some of those in for live for this release. And thank you very much. Oh, we got several things there. Let's see. We got Lava Gix. Thank you for the resub. We got P. Crandall. Thank you for the follow. And With the Fans. Well, I already thanked him. Thank you again, anyways. Oh, and Shadow Vice. Thank you for the bits. But anyway, so yes, some of the armor will get in. I'm starting with the heavy armor, the plates and the chains, just because more so than the light armor. The light armor really is supposed to be more of a, at least closer to a a place to hold your enchants and masterworks. Tanks, on the other hand, are wearing this heavy armor that destroys their casting ability, and they don't get any significant advantage to it. One of the other things I'm working on, I don't know if it'll be in for this, but I'm going to try to get on QA, is going to be the changes to Fizzle and what Fizzle means. Now this is, again, when we designed the Fizzle system, it was, and we're behind on our prizing. Let me go click that button. Hold on, I'm almost there. Okay, it's going. When we designed the Fizzle system, it was supposed to be a system where, we're thinking the whole, okay, well, some people, they'll tolerate a 20% Fizzle chance or whatever, and the reality is how players work is they want to, when they're casting, they want 0 Fizzle. So basically they either have 0 Fizzle, that's kind of what they shoot for, and they'll take the armor pieces just to get them up to 0 Fizzle. So they never have to think about it. There's no real fall off for that. But I'm working on putting some other meaning behind the Fizzle chance. So if you're someone who has a very, more than a 0% or less than a 0% Fizzle chance, that it can actually give some other benefits. So there's actually some other reasons to, rather than just shooting for exactly 0 Fizzle chance at all times, there's reasons to actually favor cloth rather than doing what almost everybody does, which is have the hybrid system. The other thing that will be in there for yes, and Elrond, there will be more durability on the Obsidian armor. The other thing that is being done for the gear, is the set bonuses. I'm increasing the set bonuses. I'm working on that right now. That's one where I'm working on it per skill and trying to make sure they give a little bit more meaning to those things. But you can expect there to be more of a set bonus. Again, as I try to, I know how players play, and they try to play it at the exact game in the system. I'm trying to make sure the exact game in the system is something that feels like, it's how players would play, again, kind of the reality crafting, rather than everybody I've got a plate torso or a chain torso and then everything else is cloth or whatever. Trying to mix that up and give them a reason to either go all chain or all cloth or all leather or all whatever. So I talked a long time. Did we get prizes yet?
Not yet.
What? Hold on, it's in the queue. Oh, it's behind 27 things. Hold on, I'm bumping it up.
I got a question I can answer in the meantime.
Okay, go for it.
Irish Eyes asks, can we have the option to place the new numbers and letters on the street signs? So the base of the street sign teleporters that are now available for pots is a decoration service. So you should be able to put things on the base. If you're asking to place them on the board, the sign itself, those aren't decoration areas, but maybe that's what you're asking. So we hadn't thought about that, but I'd be a little concerned that people might over-decorate it and start hiding the signpost, and it would sort of lose some of its visual importance. Plus, also would set up a precedent that as we do future signposts, and the plan is to do variations over time, that it might not be a viable thing for those two. But it's an interesting idea. I'll put a JIRA in for Damon, the art guy, to think about, so he can think about the aesthetics of it and decide if that's something he would want to do. I'm not even sure if the letters and numbers can shrink that small. Maybe they can. I'm not sure.
Even if we determine that we can't do it on the street signs, what about the other signs that we have, like the ones that are shaped with a shield and things like that? Maybe we could put some deco surface on that. That's not there already.
Yeah, I'm not sure how those are set up. I know about the signposts because they were based on an object that I helped create, and then I also tweaked it to put the decoration surface in. So yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I got another question I can answer.
Do it, because I'm fixing a bug that somebody just mentioned in here. They asked a question about, so.
All right, fix it live.
Fix it. Fixing it live.
Kindest asks, is the new LB Castle raid coming along? Can we get a quest to collect or steal Lord British's box tops or something like that related to mac and cheese whiz? Obviously we've been talking about Cheese Whiz because that's a trademark. But someone did mention last time, maybe it was actually you, that you would like to see his shack. So I have a shack. I do have a shack in the Lord British's castle scene, which prior to last week was still empty, and I had some vague impression of like it's a handyman shack. But someone recommended that maybe we set it up kind of like the shack that Richard actually has been broadcasting through, live streaming from. So I took that as a hint, and I put in some decorations that sort of connect with that kind of theme. So that was a great idea. The quest for box tops, I'm not sure how I would work that in. We don't really have a box tops fictional gimmick in the game, but maybe, I don't know. I like to adapt real life stuff. So I won't say no, but I'll say unlikely. There's not. So I didn't finish the Lord British's castle scene for this release. There's still some stuff I need to put in there, and I want to put in the quest that I had mentioned once or twice before. That is, so I have these guards at the entrance who can tell you, give you the rundown about what's going on with the scene. And I'd like one of the guards to be able to give you a quest related to something to get all the way in. It might actually be a 3-part quest. To get a third of the way in, then 2/3, and then all the way in to turn in that quest. But so I want to get that one in first because that's sort of like a big picture quest. And if that comes in easily enough, then maybe I'll come back to some sort of box top variant gimmick. I see another question right there from Evil Midnight. Does Lord British have a bacon smoking shack or bacon smoking dungeon? He does not. This is a trivial spoiler, but on the rooftop I will have a picnic area, and he's got one of those the new barbecue graphic stations. So maybe that's the equivalent of what you're asking. So anyway, there you go. 3 questions in a row. Bam, bam.
Bam. All right, well, that's good. First, let me check to see if the prizes are up, and then I'll tell you what I was just fixing live, which is also a question somebody asked. Let's see. Who should we put on the spot? How about you, Ravlock? Do you want to do the questions? You want to read the prizes?
Sure, I'll read the prizes. Okay, we got an ornate fish throne that is going to Galorn Hammerthrow. A replenishing aerial gold ring fish combo fireworks going to Luno. Ornate fish pavers, Lord Doomstrike. Fishing rod of prosperity to Namrula. And a rustic 3-storage village water home to Red Hammer's minion.
Woohoo! Congratulations. So the thing I was fixing was a question. Let me find the question first so I know who asked the question. Hold on. Here it is. Trokep asks, question. Belt of the Troll Lord can be enchanted at uncommon and rare, but not at legendary. Would you be able to fix this before the addition of the epic to the piece? So that is something, I think last stream someone was calling out. They said, why do you half finish things and not put things on the enchant list? And that's actually a bug. That piece of tech is old and needs to be redone. It's kind of clunky. It's one of those things. We have a lot of IDs that get generated, and it's really error prone. That's one of those things that can get stomped in terms of adding it to that list. But all epics, you'll be happy to know that when I did the epics this time around, which is all items, artifacts should have epics now. I made sure to put them on that list and made sure everything was good and did not get stomped. As to your question on the Troll Lord belt, I just checked and you are correct that it was left off the list, and I just fixed that and checked that in. So that'll be in the next patch as well. All right, you guys got some more there? I've got plenty more questions. Let me see where the list, where last updated you guys. There we go. Has everybody up there answered a question yet?
I answered all mine.
Put all you on the spot? Yeah, you're great. You're awesome, Samuel. You're always awesome.
I'm up to date.
Looking at those other guys. Uh-huh. Here's
Did
one.
you not want to go into Tanglemire? Show it around? Show it off?
Yes, we can. Where's my patcher? So I'm on a patch that does not exist yet. Let me make sure.
Okay.
Let
So
me
it
make
might not work,
sure.
right? Okay.
I can get there. Hold on. Let me update this other one.
If it's going to be broken, then that's okay. Then
No,
actually,
I
I'd
think
rather.
it'll be good. If nothing else, I can show it off in Unity. Okay, I've got this one. I should be able to show it off here in about a minute. We got a softball question thrown up here, so I'll answer that one, which is Justin. Just wanted to call out Justin. Yay, Justin, nice seeing you. And but Justin asks, can we request Damon to come on the live stream? Yeah. Why doesn't Damon come on the live stream more?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, he's typing right now. Hold on, what's he saying?
Uh-oh. I guess he's watching that.
Oh, he
Where's
says
the
link.
link?
Oh,
link?
no, there's no
It's
link for the
coming.
live stream. I need your
Fire to
Skype.
the call.
Let me see if I can get him on here. I don't even know if I've added him to a call before. Surely I have. Now he's that weird... Like, his name backwards or something like that.
Email Nomad.
Let me try that.
Raven Swiftbow says, I know I had a question, but I
Uh-huh.
can never remember it during the screens. Yeah, that's always the
There
way.
we go.
Yeah.
All right, Justin, you ask, you receive. Well, we'll see. And while I'm behind here, let me thank Snugsy1, thank you for showing up. Shadow Vice, One Blood Moon has given his 1 bit every stream for the Chaos Love. I still have not given Chaos Love. I am actually going through. That does have several skills on the These Skills Suck list. So there will be some Chaos Love, just probably not as much as you want. But Z of Silverdale, again, thank you, thank you, thank you. Trokip, thank you for 100 and 500 bits. Thank you. And Elrond, thank you for your Shamrock. And where's Damon?
Maybe he's working. Maybe he's got to. I know a lot of times if you
Yeah, you
leave
open up
Skype for a while, you got to update it.
Yeah, it wants to do everything and then doesn't work. Yes, I know. Oh, I know. Let's see. I've been seeing a lot of talk about bacon. We're actually eating bacon at the Spears household. I bought a 4-pack of bacon at Costco at Maxine's request. And so I need to get some bacon in there. We've actually been doing some bacon here lately. But the food stuff is coming along. I've not got it to a point where I'm really ready to release it to you guys. I do hope to get it out there. The armor stuff is a lot smaller changes. It's just some number tweaks. There's not much new tech involved with it. So the food probably will not make it this release. We'll see. I do need you guys, if you can, get on QA and try out some of the legendary stuff. I know that's not easy with us not giving you, a bunch of things. But do remember, you're going to be getting a bunch of gold. When we copy over the data from live, that data goes over to QA. So all those people who have items for sale on QA, you can always just go buy them off those. Go buy up all the epics or all the legendary items people have up for sale. So, if you want to go over there and try some of those out, I went and did a pass myself, just sanity checking, and I actually caught one and ran another test and did not catch anything else. But there was an item that was supposed to be adding the previous version of it. I'm trying to remember which one it was. Was it Staff of Death? I think that adds more, but it added 10 damage or death attunement, whatever the item was, maybe a Ring of Death. And I was trying to change it for the legendary, or the epic version from the legendary to 12 attunement. And I typed in the 12, but I didn't delete the 10. So it's adding 1,210 death attunement, which all you entitled death mages probably would have thought that was intended and been happy about it, but that was not intended. But any eyes you can get on that would be great for me, just for my own sanity.
The database on the QA server was updated within the last week, so it's definitely current.
Awesome. Thank you. And as I apologize for last time, hey, as I apologize for last time, we've been sometimes moving data over. Sometimes we're moving over old data from live because we're trying to test bugs and trying to use the QA to sanity check some things and trying to reproduce some of these things. No, I didn't see the outcome. Well, I got all you guys here who probably do know. Did Wizard Smoke ever manage to repro the gardening thing, did we determine that that's probably a Linux thing? Is that what I saw last?
The Linux thing, I think, was reference to a Crown Store display issue. That was a different
Okay.
one. Let's see here. I think we got two good like repro things, one on Twitter and one on the forums. Somebody even posted screenshots and said they were going to do a video. So he has some good
Awesome.
leads. I don't think he had a conclusion yet, though.
Yeah, and this is one of those things. So many times we get people to just assume it's easy to reproduce, and there's always some special sauce to make those things reproduce. So any video you can give us, or anytime you can give us, step by step is usually enough. But sometimes there's some, you're not realizing the reason behind it. As we've seen some of these bugs, it ends up being like, oh, this only happens on the female model, or it only happens when you're over encumbered, or something like that, where when you give us step by step, sometimes we miss the special sauce. So video is always awesome if there's something you really want fixed. It also, we try to get to as many bugs as we can, but you guys know there's more bugs than we can fix at any given time. We are slowing down our production and trying to spend more time fixing bugs so we can get caught up on the important stuff. But if you put out the effort to give us a video, those are also that sends us a message that this is something you're really passionate about, and it's also makes it a lot easier for us because we know we have a video that's a step by step. So, and Wizard Smoke says, I have not reproed the aggro thing yet, but I'll share any progress in the forum threads. Big thanks to the players that are providing lots of good info about the bug. All right, well, Justin.
Aggro means agriculture thing.
Yeah.
Not aggression thing.
Yes.
I should say hi. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Okay, good. Sometimes I sound like a chipmunk. I don't know why, or a broken robot. Anyway, somebody asked me, I think it was Justin, if I could come on the call. So hi.
Yeah. So what's up, Justin? You got him.
Hi, Justin. And also, I should tell you, Justin, that even now, I am working on your round settee that you requested a while back. Even now, I'm making this thing.
Oh, and speaking of agriculture stuff and art, Damon, of course, being our lead or master artist that we have, I got to take a sneak peek at all of his upcoming rewards for sub-rewards and stuff. So people that like to decorate in an agriculture type style, making farmlands and stuff, you're going to be really happy coming up for Release 81.
Yeah, R81, we decided that September kind of leads into the harvest time. And so there's this whole like, oh, well, we should do some stuff, and also fishing. And we also were releasing the lava fish, as y'all probably know. And so it was kind of like, well, let's do kind of a harvest-related theme. And so we went with like hay and a hay cart and a bunch of hay decos. And then the September login reward is going to be a dyeable fishing pole, which is also works in lava. So it's just about as good as the lava fishing pole, only it looks more like a regular fishing pole, but it's dyeable. That's all I have to say.
Awesome.
You'll get your round settee, Justin, and it will look similar, but not the same as, but similar to the one in that was in the Queen's Palace. If you ever watched, what's it called? What's the recent?
Downton Abbey?
No. It's got the Queen.
The crown.
The crown. It's called the crown.
Okay.
Nope.
Yeah.
So yeah, you see that in that show a couple times. Anyway, there you go.
Damien, there was a question before that I'll put to you now from Irish Eyes. Can we have the option to place the new numbers and letters on the street signs? I think on the the flat of the sign itself.
Oh, you want a deco surface on the street sign?
Is it? Would the new numbers and letters be too big even if you shrunk them? I don't know how much.
You can shrink them down, so that might work. I think that's probably possible because you can shrink them down pretty far.
Yeah, 0.5. Yeah.
I gave them a pretty big range, and I can put a deco surface on that sign, I think. So I'll look into it.
Okay, cool.
I can't promise, but I think it should work.
Yeah, I didn't want to speak for you because I didn't know. I know we haven't thought too far ahead about like alternate signposts, but I didn't know if you put that deco surface on there, would it suddenly open it up to become too cluttered and to really lose the visual of the signpost itself?
I mean, I'm going to say, look, let users but give them enough rope to hang themselves with.
All right.
This is the way I think. And it's like, if you want to make something that looks bad, that's up to you. But
There you go.
I'm happy to put a deco surface on it, and I think it should work. I don't see a reason why not.
Yeah.
So
I guess you keep it simple.
I'll tentatively say yes, it should.
Each front-facing flat of the two side things,
Right.
just like a nice rectangle on it.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, sounds good. We are in accord.
We are. Let the gavel be struck.
Just moving to a slightly more interesting background than the developer hub there. Let me throw some more questions up there. I got to go pull some numbers here in a few minutes, or some winners here in a minute. This may be a good time, Ravelox. We're up to 186 or something like that. That's probably pretty close to what we'll peak at. You want to give your update?
Sure, sounds good. Okay, so last time I was talking about the Buck Brigade, and we're bringing that back. So just to review a little bit on it, it's not going to be a lottery anymore as far as the rewards are concerned. We're going to have very minimal requirements to participate and qualify for the rewards. I am timing this up so that way it'll go live with R81. And we have been working tirelessly to clean up the forums. As you all know, there's a huge backlog of bugs up on the forums. So what we've been doing is going in there and updating them. You'll notice there's a new tag called verified that's going up on there, and that's when one of the bug moderators has gone in and been able to reproduce the issue and verify that it's a valid bug, so it's eligible for submission into the ticketing system and then being worked on by the team. So there's a number of things that'll slight changes here and there as far as the tags and things like that. And again, just a reminder, please don't put anything in as looks like a tag, like saying fixed or submitted or anything like that on your forum post title. So that way we don't get, basically, if you do that, we won't look at the post. We'll think it's been handled already. So that's our little internal way of doing that. And this is probably the best moment to say that the program's going to have two tiers. So you're going to have bug hunters, which anybody can now join in when we get this thing going. And then the next tier up will be the bug moderators. And these will be some folks that have been working on bugs for a very long time with us. And we're having them help out, review those things, and qualify the bugs for submissions, and of course ask questions to the players and things like that to help make sure that we're trying to get we're getting the right steps to reproduce it and all that neat stuff. Alley-oop, of course, has been working on the bug forum on her own for the enjoyment of it for years. So she's been working on this with us, and of course she's very visible in asking questions and stuff to players. Welcome and thanks for all her assistance as well. In addition, we have Justin, who is helping out, and of course her area of expertise is deco and housing, so she's going to be paying a lot of attention to that. And also recently, Tazar has joined in with the group, and so the four of us together will be going through the bug forums and the QA bug forums and making sure that they're kept current as much as we can. Once we get the backlog sorted out, obviously there's going to be a little bit of a time frame of getting the bugs in, and then the team has to work on getting the bugs cleared. But hopefully, if we keep this going, the way I described this to everybody is it's a circle, right? The team can't process bugs without knowing that they're there. The community needs to be helping out and giving us the bugs and letting us know how to reproduce and things like that. So it's a circle of life type of situation. Once we get that going and it keeps going, the bugs should be reduced down to a manageable level, and everybody's life will be much happier and better. So with all that said, the The program, as I said, is going to go live at R81, which basically means on Friday, the first day of it after the release day, because we're all busy on release day. I plan on putting up the documentation in the bug forum. It'll be the bug and feedback forum, the root one for live, and the one on QA. There'll be a copy in each of the description of the program, the rules as it is per se, and how to get involved and all that neat stuff. And we'll of course have an announcement in the weekly update that comes out during that release as well. The methodology to join up will probably be to send me a PM. Please don't send one yet. Wait until the documentation's up there so you can read through it, make sure you understand the requirements and stuff before I put you into the database and get you signed up. The only real requirement for being eligible to sign up is to be a player in good standing, meaning that if you're suspended or obviously banned or anything along those lines, then you wouldn't be eligible to participate in the Bug Brigade. But everybody who's listening to this right now is most likely eligible, so should be fine. And as I said, the requirements on a monthly basis to participate is really low. If you do miss a month, it's going to be something like the subscription program where you're incrementing up the progression for the rewards. So you'll just basically stop there. The next time you participate, then you'll keep going from where you left off, that type of thing. So the only real requirement there is to, hopefully to install the QA client, and that's not actually a requirement. I misspoke there. It's something that we recommend, so that way you can help test on QA. As we move forward, all of the bugs hopefully will be on QA. I mean, there'll be always some bugs on live, but we're hoping to get it to the point where we're cycling things through QA, the new features, new assets and things along those lines, getting the information out to you guys to do testing. So that way, that's where the bugs will mainly be coming from at that level. So that way the live server will be in the long run a much cleaner environment. So now that's everything I had on Bug Brigade. Of course, if anybody has questions, go ahead and post them. I'll answer them as we go through. Go ahead, Chris.
Oh, this is me, Damon.
Oh, sorry.
I do have one comment to make, which is for you for the Bug Brigade. I did get a JIRA from Star, who's aware of the work you've been doing, and we've got now the bug sprayer, but we're going to now have a copper and a silver and a gold, and you can figure out how you want to tier that out.
Okay,
for people
awesome.
who kill lots of bugs, they can get silver, maybe gold if they get lots and lots and lots.
All right, cool. All right, that's awesome. All right, thanks. Okay, and I have one other item that I'll go over. Very brief, this is kind of like an initial announcement on this one. We are looking into putting up a swag store. I'm doing some research into basically virtual warehouse places, so t-shirts, mugs, and stuff like that. So not ready for anything further than just to let you guys know that we're doing this, because there's been some people on the forums and other places asking about it. So just to let you know, we are doing it. I'm even going to talk to some of our previous, we'll call them real life player vendors who produce some things for Shroud, and see if they're willing to help us out with those things as well. So I don't want to say anything more there. I'm sure a lot of people know what I'm talking about, but I don't want to basically put anybody on the hook for something I haven't been able to clear with them yet. So that's about that.
Just one thing I'll point out, just because we haven't talked about much, when you're on QA, I'm mentioning it now because I saw it when I zoned into this scene. You may notice that things run a little pokier on what you would expect to be like server stuff. Like when I loaded into this town, items were a little slower to load than they are on live. That is because we intentionally run QA on a fairly slow box. It's not even running on a slow box. It's all the boxes and everything involved with QA all running as VMs on a box. And we intentionally want to kind of cripple the performance. So if anything's going to show up, we see it before it gets to live. If we're going to have problems that come up due to timing or performance or load type stuff, just because we never get that many people on there. So I believe every part of QA runs as VMs on a server that is a 1.8 gigahertz low power server box. So just in case you ever see stuff on QA runs a little pokier and you're wondering why, or something's a little less responsive when you go to whatever water 100 things, that is part of why. I also need to thank Elron, King of Elves, the Maynard, John Marcus, thank you guys. Shadow Vice, again, Gadra, thank you for the resub. Jeeves, thank you for the follow. Again, thank you guys for all the support. So many different ways. Let's see, I think we may have, no, we do not have the prizing yet. Let's see if that's going right now. I was going to say we passed our time for that. Oh, no. All right, I may need one of you guys to cover...
Gotta run the prize bot.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to hand interpret the prize bot.
If you want, I can start talking about fishing stuff. And
yeah, why don't you talk about the fishing stuff here?
All right.
We don't have that much time left, but I'll get some more questions here. But I'm gonna go try to figure out what's going on with the prize bot.
So I know I said that I didn't have the fishing contest results ready, but while they were answering questions, I knocked it out. So. Let's go ahead and see what is up with that. So this week, the fishing contest took place in 3 player-owned towns, Night's Watch, Krabnavir, and the Islands of Wonders. And it was in Libris Ruins for the PvP portion and Sunless Barrens for the lava portion. Well, coming in for the POT portion, caught out of the Island of Wonders, measuring in at 2.74 ambiguous units, a large king salmon caught by a Jughead. Congratulations, Jughead. You win a player on town rollout deed, no trade, of course, and then a large gold fishing trophy. And let's see here. Fished out of Libris Ruins, measuring in at 2.12 ambiguous units, a king salmon caught by Carpe Noctum. Congratulations, you win 2 chained obsidian shard 3-packs, as well as a large silver fishing trophy. And fished out of Sunless Barrens, measuring in at 4.9 ambiguous units, a small Mosasaurus caught by Sorgan Texacal. Congratulations! You win a fishing rod of prosperity as well as a large bronze fishing trophy. Any other participants, of course, will be receiving their participation trophies they'll send out on Monday. And you want to not do the events as well, Chris? You want me to hold on those? Are you ready?
I am ready to read these guys out with the interpreting the log gibberish there. Ornate Fish Throne goes to Vigo Thorison. Replenishing Aerial Gold Ring Fish Combo Fireworks box goes to, let's see, Lateralis Stinkfist. Names.
That's a name.
I'm going to file a report there. Ornate Fish Paver goes to Roman Drakenbane. Fishing Rod of Prosperity goes to Hodor or Miracle. Let's see. Rustic 3-story Village Water Home goes to Ravenscar. And I think that's it. That's the last one, right?
Yep.
Hey, thank you very much, Taiki. Thank you I got a lot of people here to thank. Whoa, wow, someone, Shaner Niner, man, gifting like mad. Not to be outdone there.
Oh, wow.
Thank you, man.
The hype train.
Holy cow. Oh, is there a hype train? Oh, there's what's going on. Well, that's good. We can close it out on a hype train here. We'll stay until the hype train stops and answer questions. And I promise I will not sing, so do not give me 1337 bits. I don't want to scare you guys off when there's a hype train going on. I didn't even notice that going on.
Afroman says, List is my hero. List has been answering questions in the chat for people who haven't been reading the chat. You should keep an eye out. List Rostov, he's one of us.
One of us. Yeah, we should get List on the stream more often. He hasn't been on the stream in a while. Speaking of which, what's the scene name that I'm trying to get to here? This is the QA server that I'm on here.
Oh, okay.
I can go run around in that while we're on the hype train.
In the chat for you. Here we go. It's in the...
Oh, Tinglemire, okay.
In both chats.
Man, there's so many people to thank there. Again, thank you, The Real Black Axe, for 1,000 bits. Thank you, Hollyhawk. Thank you, Zithar. Thank you, Darton Obscuro. Elron, Waldo. Thank you, guys. Broccoli Tom. Thank you for the follow. Again, Real Black X. Thank you. Taiki, thank you. The Maynard. Skeggy Media, Shaner Niner again. Man, everybody gets a gifted sub from me, or Shaner Niner. Waldo, thank you very much. 7 Midnights. Avanar, thank you for the bits. Waldo again. Taiki again. John Marcus. More Shaner Niner. Holy cow. Lancel, thank you. Aaron Doom. Elrond. Aaron Doom, thank you for the 500 bits. Thank you, Aob Neal. Wonder how bad I butcher that every time. Again, Shaner Niner again. Man, Shaner Niner. John Marcus again. I think I got everybody. Oh, look at this collision data.
They're taunting you.
How are they going to make us stay on a little longer here?
Hype Train also crested over again. I'm going to mention that Tango Myers' new episode 2 scene coming in this release. It is the new type of town, the NPC town we want to do for...
I'm in a meeting.
It's a new type of town we're doing for episode 2 area for Mr. Endure. And it is it's a little bit like Valhall, if people know what Valhall was in Norgard. Half of the scene, or a big chunk of the scene, is where NPCs. It's relatively safe, except it is a full adventure scene. So if you go too far away from the town or main road, there's dangers there. There's enemies that'll fight you, or potentially enemies that might fight the NPCs in town. But they should come back soon. And I guess Chris is in the scene right now. It's at nighttime. It's basically a swamp-based scene, and yeah, you can just run along the road until you get to the town, and you can just check out people along the way. It's a little bit of hype. Oh, there's the two-tailed comet right there. Still around until about November. One of the things I'll mention about these people, as you talk to them, you'll learn that they're a little bit paranoid. They're kind of scared of. Oh, yeah, you found a spirit wheel. That's a big thing with them, spirit wheels. They hang those up to keep the town safe. And if you talk to them about spirit wheels, they will describe them to you.
Hey, Chris Travis recommends you make it daytime for the stream.
Okay.
So the town's in a little bit further. It's I guess closer to the center of the town, but along the road. We have the usual resources around. There's what are the two ores? Is it gold and copper? No, iron and copper. There's mostly along the road. You'll find garlic. There's a spot where there's mandrake. I think there's some purple crystals deeper into the swamp. Some mud areas. You're about to pass Smithy on the right. Smithy actually has some charcoal you could mine up. So there's the Smithy's outdoor Smithy area. You can tell the town is kind of like run down. They are far off. This is like the northernmost town in our world thus far, and it's a swamp. It's probably pretty cold all the time. We have a few merchants, we have a few crafting stations. It's not like the full boat. We don't have like all the bells and whistles, every modern convenience. A lot of kids running around, and they're not allowed to leave the town because it's not safe. When people get to the town, you'll notice as you look around, you'll see a lot more of those spirit wheels that Chris would pass on the road. They hang them all over the place because to them it's important to keep the town safe, and that's how they keep the town safe. That's one of the ways they keep the town safe. Necrobot mentions 13th Warrior. Yeah, there's definitely a 13th Warrior vibe here. It was a great movie. Travis and I both love it. Travis, aka Liz Rostov. There'll be a public vendor back here. We got a guard right here. Inside, there's a banker inside this great hall. And what else do we have? We got, so I mentioned public vendor. We have a general merchant. We have an armorer at the smithy. We have, I think there's another, an alchemist just outside of town. The town used to be run by a Jarl, but the Jarl is dead, and three village elders, have stepped up to the task of running town together. There are people that you'll meet and you'll talk to. One of them will actually give you a quest. In nearby Spindleskog, there's a hunter who gives you a repeatable quest to get runestones, and the alchemist actually has a cooperative quest. I've spun the quest around so that you have to do the alchemist quest first in order to get that Spindleskog quest. But players who are already on the Spindleskog quest, don't worry about it. You won't be blocked. You can just keep going as you're going. Just anybody who hasn't started yet will have to take this quest first. So it's just loosely it's a pointer quest that sends you to Spindleskog and sort of supports the fiction. A lot of crocodiles in this place.
I like this rock set, the kind of hexagonal rocks, the crystalline rocks.
Yeah, I did. The collision was all jacked up on all of them. I had to fix them a little bit so you can kind of climb up. You can't necessarily climb up to the top, or at least I couldn't without special things. But I think if you have
you know what you just did? You just challenged the players to climb all the way up to the top.
Yeah.
They'll be there in 5 minutes.
I dare the players to climb up to the top and see if you can find something
collision
up there. Wink.
Wah. Challenge is gonna fail.
Yeah, the collision is something's wrong with the collision and some of that stuff.
There's a bunch of errors when I walked into the scene. That's got to be what those were. I just hid the window, but there was a bunch of errors that showed mesh collision was no joy.
Okay.
Man, I'm gonna have a lot of people to thank here. The hype train has finally ended. I'll stay on and give people some more Q&A here, though, if you guys are up for it.
Yeah.
All right.
So in the town, there are 2 quests, both are repeatable. They're side quests. So what I'm doing is that as we add new scenes, I want to add these like side quests to help support the fiction of the area and help make you feel productive when you're there. They're not the critical quests. They're not eventually they'll be, the main story will drive you here and they'll be big deal quests. But these are the supporting quests. And one of them in particular, so sometimes I talk about how virtue, I want to have virtue and choices to be more important over time. Definitely I always squeeze in choices into conversations where you have like an A or B choice. And usually it's like, are you the helpful guy or the jerk or the greedy person or the altruistic person? And you can sort of get a sense that like maybe I'm getting some sort of positive love points over here or negative courage points for this choice or something like that. So I definitely slip those in a lot. But I also am doing something with one of the quests here, which is there's 2 opportunities for hints. So if your virtue is of a certain score at one point in one of these side quests, you will get a certain hint. Otherwise, you don't get the hint. If your virtue is of a different quality in the next stage of the quest, you will get a different sort of hint to help you along in that quest. So virtue is having an effect. Eventually, I want to have something special in all the NPC towns, probably a different thing in each town, that will be a nice little indicator that the world is changing. And it's a 2-part thing that the world is changing. So one part would be a visual gimmick, like the example I give behind the scenes here to the devs is that imagine that there's banners that are rolled up by default, but if there are players in the area who have advanced the quest to a certain stage, the banners are unfurled. So you can see a slight difference. Maybe there's a statue that's raised, maybe there's some other things that change. I also want to have the conversations adjust a little bit, like maybe the barks from the NPCs, and barks are what they say when they're just sort of like wandering around, like they'll say, "Hello, Avatar." You're not actually in a conversation with them. They just say these things like, "Come to my shop." Like, "Oh, what weather would it happen?" I want them to say stuff like, "Wow, looks like the Avatar saved the day in that new scene." After you did save the day in that new scene. So things like that I want to have to make it feel like the world itself is progressing along with your own personal progress. So there you go. That's Tengelmeyer in a nutshell, and using it as a example for the other cities, the other towns. The towns won't be huge. They'll never be as big as Central Brittany or Artis or anything like that. Those towns have a lot of like extra space, a little bit of waste in a sense.
A lot.
What I much prefer is that to have like half or more of the buildings and the people in town to have a specific purpose. Like they will help you with your quest, or they will sell you something, or they are a trainer. Right now there are a few, I think maybe 5 generic people in town who won't tell you their name, and have just a small support to the flavor of the town. But over time, they'll sort of drop off and be replaced by quest-specific characters or utility-specific characters.
All right, well, let me thank a bunch of people here, and then I'm going to answer a few questions, and then we can wrap up some stuff. I think that may have been the biggest hype train we had, and we didn't even have Richard here to throw money onto the pile. I think playing the part of Richard today was Shaner Niner, who gets the MVP for the hype train there. And somebody was commenting that I keep getting my face cut off on the stream, so if you see me occasionally sit up straight instead of doing the tilted over bad streamer thing, that's why. But Gamer Quest, thank you. That's a name, I don't know if I've heard that name before, at least not in the bit stream. Shadow Vice, thank you. Avener, Sarah Mallory, Waldo again, Elrond again, Trokip again, 500 more bits, John Marcus, Avenir again, Snugsy1, Aob Neal gave 5 tier 1 community subs. Thank you very much. Baldernick, Mr. Chadwick, Beldernick, that's another one, a fairly new name. Thank you for the 500 bits. And then Shaner Niner, 5,000 bits. I think that was probably one pushing us over a hype train or something. Waldo again and again. Waldo, 1,000 bits. Hollyhock, Zythar, Dark and Obscuro, Elrond again. Tons and tons of guys out there. Thank you. Taiki, thank you very much. Broccoli Tom, the Maynard. Bob with 2 B's. Thank you very much. That's a funny name also because it's his name is Bob with 2 B's. Well, I guess it does have 2 B's. I was going to say it only had 1 B, but yeah, it's got a B at the start and a B at the end. And then Shaner Niner again with 20 tier 1 subs. So thank you guys. Huge thanks all around. We have a ton of questions in here that piled up. Let's see. I'll throw them in there. Let's see. Throwing these questions over to you. I want each of you, each person, I want you to pick one question, answer one more question, and then we'll wrap it up here. I'll go last with the questions. There's some more questions for you if you want them. So that's your assignment. I'll go first too. Griffler asked for any updates on mounts. Mounts are actually making some pretty good progress. One and Only has been teasing us with videos in chat. Still some issues going on with it, but he's got the big challenge for it is we've got a pretty complex, as you might expect for a big game, we've got a pretty complex animation state machine that goes on with the character, because it's one of those things you kind of take it for granted, but if you look at the character, you know, there's a bunch of stuff that he does from, like, you know, putting his foot up on things, if you're on uneven surfaces where one foot will be further down than the other one, the upper body, because he can be running one direction, shooting a bow in another direction. The head will follow targets of interest. You can see the head look around and do stuff. So we've got a pretty complex state machine. So anytime, that's one of those things that when people talk about doing mounts, it should be easy. Well, no, not if you have to touch our state machine. So this is one where he's already got that part done, though. He's got the movement state stuff done for it. He's making pretty fast progress on it. We're going to have to do some animation work is kind of the thing he had, as Damon nods his head. He loves doing animations, though. But I think the one he sent us is basically the character standing with his legs and a horse, so kind of a two-bodied centaur or something like that. So we've got some animation work to do, but again, that's the easy part compared to the more complex part of all the broken stuff that can break with our state machine stuff. Let's see. Oh, I'm way behind on the scroll there. Have you guys picked out a question? Everybody picked out a question they're going to answer? Oh, and Damon, I think I muted you when your lovely wife walked in. So you're muted. I think you can unmute yourself, though. It wouldn't let me unmute you. Yep, still muted, Damon. I see. Maybe I do have to unmute you. Nope. Oh, yeah, you unmuted yourself there. There you go.
Okay, good. Hello,
There you
can you
go.
hear me?
Yes. We can hear you.
Yeah, let's see. I'll see if I can take a couple of these. First of all, the status of the cats we were told were coming. I don't know what that is. I need more information.
And that's one that's not the original one. That's the ones that have been bought.
The big
The
cats,
cats,
I think,
the
is
big
what he's
cats.
talking about.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we haven't gotten to those yet, but those are going to be coming before too long, hopefully in the next couple of releases. And looking at the rest of these questions, you cannot ride two crocodiles like water skis, largely. But that question came from our internal developer, Liz Rostov, and he should know better than that. And besides all that, I don't see any
Rinaldi didn't
questions
ask us
that
a
I-
question, but Rinaldi the green guy says, how about climbing animation for climbing ladders and vines?
Well,
I feel that boat probably sailed.
I'll be honest with you about how ladders and vines work is they are teleporters. So
Yeah.
rather than having animations, you are going to teleport because that's the way the system is set up.
And
We
that's
would probably have to replace every ladder vine in the game if we switched to another system.
yes. And if you look around, you'll also notice that ladders, where they're in places where they're used in 100 different ways, different lengths, different styles, different angles, different tilts. Like everything about them is different. That's one of those we've talked about doing because it can make a big difference, for just immersion type stuff of climbing up the ladder. But also the other big thing is for things like PvP and for combat. It makes a big difference of them being a climb up the ladder versus teleport up the ladder. If I have to climb up the ladder in PvP, then yeah, I can knock you off the ladder in lots of different issues. So we get that it's important to people, but it's also would be a massive content undertaking in addition to the tech and the animations. So
I'll tell you right now too that we couldn't just update the ladder prefabs that we have. With the siren, you guys can probably hear it because you can always hear it.
yep.
So Dan and I, Plague of Locust, we would, and the other world builders, we would use ladders for things that were not visibly ladders as well. So we might, because they were basically paired up, and it was just an easy thing to grab that prefab object and rip off the ladder visual, and we might use it for say 2 doors that we knew were sort of paired up as teleporters. Click the door and would bring you to the other door. So it would be weird if we just sort of updated the ladder object that we have, because then suddenly you'd sort of be crawling through the air from one door to another, or it'd be crazy. It would have to be a super random thing, not even an update at all.
All right, I got one more here I want to answer, and then maybe we can try and wrap things up a little bit there. Oh, and thank you, Brill. Long live the Syndicate. I know the Syndicate just had Syndicon, which they did do in person, I think, with just a much smaller audience and a much bigger building. But congratulations, guy, on a great another Syndicon. And let me get to the question here. This one's from Merrick Dragon, which he asked a question which I have the answer to and the backstory to. There's always a backstory to a lot of these things. Merrick Dragon asked, can we get the ring of Cuddlekin to grant a boost to sneaking instead of jumping? Cuttlefish don't jump, but they have camo. So when I created that long ago, I think that was maybe the release after I added the ring of the Frogkin, we added the ring of the Cuddlekin. And to add a skin override to things is a pretty complex thing. So I actually started that by taking the ring of the Frogkin, duping that, and then going and working on swapping out the materials and trying to set up all that stuff. So it went live with the bonus on it being a boost to jump. It was never intended to have a boost to anything. It was just supposed to be purely for looks and like a party ring. And I actually went and tried to remove the boost to jump off the ring of the Cuttlefish. And people lost their minds, as they always do. So we just left it on. I could add something else to it, but it has the jump purely because it was a dupe of the Frogkin ring that made it to live with a bug that, again, it's a bug, but it's a beneficial for the player's bug, so it's not that big of a deal. But that is why the Cuttlefish ring lets you jump. Is because our setting up new visual skins for the character is insanely complicated. So I started by using the Frogkin ring. So, in case you were wondering, do we have any other stuff. Did we do? Oh, did you do the fishing? You haven't done the fishing yet.
We did the fishing results for the contest, but we haven't done the weekly events.
Okay, the weekly events. Why don't you do the weekly events? I'm gonna go pick a stream. I'm gonna try to find a new person.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, this week you're gonna have some fun stuff to do over the weekend. Of course, time ahead as well. The Catgate Games weekly fishing tourney. This time, the 3-player on towns will be saltwater. Of course, this time we're rotating between the 3 water types. It's going to be in Meadows Edge, Dragomir Mori, and Arlia. For the PvP portion, you'll want to go fishing over in Verdantis Shardfall if you are brave enough to tread into there. And also for the largest lava fish, you'll be going to Spectral Mines this week, and that's from Friday today, noon Central, all the way to Friday next week, noon Central. Just remember, next week after that, it is not going to be a Catnip Games official weekly fishing tourney. It is going to be the one run by Famines and crew. And let's see here. Let's get that linked up for you. Here's their main forum thread for that. So to get involved, because it's a team fishing contest. You're going to be forming your teams. It's going to be from August 28th, noon Central, to September 4th, noon Central. So just remember that particular week, if you want to participate in the big weekly fishing contest, it's going to be that one, and I'm going to be taking a break from it. Now, speaking of fishing, we actually have another one that's in celebration of Driz's birthday party. That's, I believe, Alen Dragonfire's hubby, if I'm correct. Because he loves fishing, and they have a really interesting premise for their fishing contest. That's going to be this weekend on Saturday, and it's going to be from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Central, so a 6-hour fishing contest. And it's in 2-hour brackets. So fresh water is from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., fetid water is from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., and salt water is from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. They have an interesting nuance to their contest. It is total fish size. You're going to spit 3 fish, 1 of each category, and they're going to add up the values of each fish to get you your total score. So if you didn't do so well in freshwater, you might make up for it in fetid, etc. So I think that's a real clever way to do the contest, and I'm glad they're running it. So be sure to participate if you're interested. And also,
before you go on, this question, Bridget Troll asked, do we need to mail the fish?
Oh, right. So when I was talking last, and of course, speaking of Alen Dragonfire's contest and speaking of Famine's contest, yes, any instructions they provide to you about mailing fish, follow those instructions. So after my 1-week break after Famine's contest, and we go back into the Catnip Games fishing contests, I'll be using the new fish size logging that Wizard Smoke enabled, and that means I can just check a scene and check who got the largest fish fished out of a scene during a certain time frame. Don't even have to send me the fish. And I'll be, that particular announcement, this one here, I'll be reformatting it for the new kind of instructions for the contest during the week that Famines is running his, so that way you guys are ready for that when I take it back over for the following week. But yeah, expect the changes to the instructions to appear there. And thanks for that, Sanya. And also we've got Lord British's macaroni and cheese recipe has been revealed. It is on the forums, and I went ahead and posted it up in the weekly update, and it's on the events page. But if you want to chime in and let people know how you're, we had somebody, they modified the recipe and added cilantro. So if you go ahead and post your success stories. But yeah, you'll get a kick out of looking at that macaroni and cheese box with him on the cover and the story as to how he got there. Yeah, it's a pretty good story. And we've got 2 more things. So elf lore, the fate of the true elves. So there's this group called the New Britannian Theater Troupe, and they've been around for a really long time. You can find a lot of their publications and Echoes from the Caverns folks there at caverns.net. And Gabriel Nightshadow is our, probably our most renowned playwright in all of New Britannia. And every so often, usually about once a year, he busts out this really awesome play, and he pushes it out for people to have their voices recorded saying their particular lines they're supposed to do. And sometimes we even do live performances. I've been in 2 or 3, 1 live and 2 just recorded ones. It's a lot of fun. If you want to get involved, just be sure to let them know, especially when they're getting geared up for another play. But it's going to be streaming in 5 segments, because he usually has pretty long plays, and it's going to be Mondays, 7 p.m. Central. It'll be broken out into 5 segments. You can watch it also on the Len Dragonfire stream, and of course on Virtue Avatar Radio. But if you would like to get more information, They actually posted this on the Shroud Facebook group that's run by players, and you can find that post there and chime in. Asclepius is the guy you need to ask about for more info, or maybe a Len Dragonfire, maybe Gabriel might shadow himself. But yeah, so anyway, it's 1.5 years in the making. I'm curious how many people they banded together to do all those recordings and stuff. But yeah, it's fantastic work, always is, from him. And we've got here, Show Your Stats, Win Your Stacks raffle. And that's been going on for a little while, and that's run by Titania Xiley over at shroudtheavatar.net. And if you want more information about that, there's the forum thread. But basically what you're doing is just participating in the public API. On the top left-hand corner of your game window, there's your character health bar and stuff. If you right-click that, show name and public stats. And what that does is it pushes your name into the public API for various different things. So if you just participate in that, you're already entered into their contests. So be sure to participate, and also maybe go over to the website and see how you're ranking in certain categories, like most monsters killed or certain types of monsters, etc. That's all I got.
All right. So I looked, maybe I should refresh here and make sure there's not anybody new. We got a fairly new person. Oh wait, there's one more. Nope, that's the same one. All right, so we are going to be rating. I actually I pulled my chat window over. I did the roll for it for who it was, but we are going to be rating Slenderman Poe, who's actually out adventuring. Let me start that up, and we can do our quick goodbyes. Got the name right. All right, I think that's it, guys. Next week is the release. We will definitely be doing a stream to talk about things. I saw there's a question on whether or not the lava fish will be live for the next fishing tournament. I believe they will be. Anybody correct me? Correct? Confirm? I think they will be. We'll try and make sure those get live. But again,
Jesus
guys,
is the one that asked.
Again, thank you.
I was gonna say it's if B gets it all hooked up, but I know that it's a big pile of work for him to do, but he seemed confident.
All right. I think he can get it hooked up. We'll try and make sure, and maybe if not, we can get it hooked up for the couple of scenes where they're going to have the fishing tournaments, and try to stay ahead of them in patches, if nothing else. And thank you, Heinz, for the follow. Guys, again, thank you so much. Super generous on the stream here today, and didn't even have Richard egging you guys on. We will be getting the build out on time, crossing our fingers, knocking on wood. But everything should be good. We're working on bugs now. I saw tons of bugs getting fixed. We're trying to fix some of those more annoying ones, and we're getting lots of reports on stuff. Feel free to go play on QA. Again, it is live. There will be another version of the build go live in just a few minutes. Well, probably later this evening. That will have a half dozen or more fixes for you. But go test what we got rated. We got forwarded. I'm sure there's some people out there. I wasn't paying attention to the countdown thing. All right, guys, go watch the show.